Greetings, everyone. Well, it's package opening time again, and as you may guess from my shirt, it's kind of Doctor Who related. Got this big box from AndrozaniMajor, who is a longtime viewer and frequent chatter over on the Discord. And yeah, he picked up some Doctor Who stuff and thought I might need it for my collection. And yeah, so I'm not sure. This feels a little heavier than what I was expecting, so I don't actually remember specifically which things he was sending because it was so long ago we had that conversation. But definitely dying to check it out, so let's take a look. Doctor Who stuff from AndrozaniMajor today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. All right, let's open this bad boy up here. I just got to see which way is the best way to go. I think I'll need to open it down here just because it's kind of difficult to hide the address and stuff. So yeah, I think that gets it. Okay. Just bits of paper and stuff. Hold on. Okay, almost got it. There we go. Got it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Holy moly. Okay, well, there is definitely some stuff here I was not expecting. This is very cool. So first up we have, it looks like a Fourth Doctor adventure. We have The English Way of Death. I've never even heard of this one before, by Gareth Roberts. It says, the Doctor, Romana, and K9 are hoping for a holiday in London in the sweltering summer of 1930. But the TARDIS is warning of time pollution, and that's not the only problem. What connects the isolated Sussex resort of Nutchurch with the secret society run by the eccentric Percy closed? Why has millionaire Hepworth Stackhouse dismissed his staff and hired assassin Julia Orlastro? And what is the truth behind the infernal vapor known only as the Zodal? With the heat building, the Doctor and his friends set out to solve the mysteries. An adventure set in the 1930s London featuring the Fourth Doctor as played by Tom Baker and his companions Romana and K9. Very nice. I have never even heard of this one before. But very cool. I'm always down for some more Fourth Doctor adventures. This, of course, is an original novel. It's not based on any televised story, for those of you who are wondering. And here we got another original novel. We got Doctor Who Hope. So this is one of the BBC ones. This is an Eighth Doctor adventure. Okay, cool. Yeah, because originally, when the BBC took over publishing sort of the new adventures of Doctor Who from Virgin Publishing, they did a series of adventures featuring past Doctors, like the past 7 Doctors, and then at the time, the 1996 TV movie was the most current incarnation, so they did a series of new adventures featuring the 8th Doctor. So, very cool. So this is one of those. So let's check out what it is here. I don't have very many of these at all, so this is definitely a treat. In the far future, the City of Hope isn't a place for the weak. The air is thick with fog, the sea burns, law and order are a thing of the past. Headless corpses are being found at the edge of the city, and the militia can't find the killer. Members of a deranged cult mutilate themselves while plotting the deaths of their enemies. Even the Doctor can't see any possibility of redemption for this cursed place. All he wants to do is leave, but to do so he needs the TARDIS, and the TARDIS is lost in the depths of a toxic sea. When the most powerful man on the planet offers to retrieve the TARDIS for a price, the Doctor has no choice but to accept. But while the Doctor is hunting a killer, another offer is being made, one which could tear the Doctor and his companions apart. This is another in the series of original adventures for the 8th Doctor by Mark Clapham. Interesting. Very cool. Yeah, these novels, like I've talked about before, how with the Target novels, they were kind of limited in how long they could be. there was no such limitation on these. So a lot of these adventures are quite dense, and of a good meaty length. So that's very cool. I'm definitely going to enjoy checking that out. Oh, and here we go. Speaking of the Virgin books, we have one of the new Doctor Who adventures. So these were a series of adventures featuring the 7th Doctor at the time. So we have the new Doctor Who adventures, Deceit. And you can see, I mean, look how thick this thing is. Yeah, Target has nothing on these. These were good meaty reads. Yeah, it's like over 300 pages. But this is like the equivalent length of 2 Target books. But let's see here. So we have, so it's called Deceit. So take Arcadia apart if you have to. The middle of the 25th century. The Dalek War is drawing to an untidy close. Earth's Office of External Operations is trying to extend its influence over the corporations that have controlled human-occupied space since man first ventured to the stars. Agent Isabel DeFries is leading one expedition. Among her barely controllable squad is an explosive expert who calls herself Ace. Their destination, Arcadia. A non-technological paradise, a living laboratory for a centuries-long experiment, fuel for a super being. Even when Ace and Benny discover the truth, the Doctor refuses to listen to them. Nothing is what it seems to be. Oh. It says, full-length original novels based on the longest-running science fiction television series of all time, the BBC's Doctor Who, The New Adventures take the TARDIS into previously unexplored realms of space and time. Peter Darvill Evans has sold Dungeons & Dragons for Games Workshop, written fighting fantasy game books for Puffin Books, and been a director of a magazine distribution company. Now the editor in charge of Virgin Publishing's fiction department, he has decided to subject himself to the strictures which he has imposed on other New Adventures authors. Deceit is the result. He is the co-author of Time Lord, the Doctor Who role-playing game. That is very cool. How far along is this one? Oh, this is actually one of the earlier books. Yeah, so they did the Time Worm series, which was 4 books, Cat's Cradle, which was 3 books. Then they did Nightshade, Love and War, Transit, The Highest Science, and The Pit. And then this one. So this is actually pretty early on. I noticed actually, I was down at one of the used bookstores in town recently, and they have a whole bunch of the New Adventures and a bunch of the BBC ones as well, and also a bunch of the Missing Adventures. So I did pick up a few recently, which I'll show you in an upcoming update. But I'm thinking I might grab a few more, because I've heard a lot of good things about the Virgin series, and sadly they've never been reprinted. They were only ever done that one print run. I mean, there was a few reprints at the time, but since Virgin lost the license, all those stories have just dropped out of print forever. I think a few of them have come back as digital books that you can read online and stuff, but that's about it. All right, and then here we go. We got some of the novelizations, some of the Target books. Very cool. These are the ones I remember because he asked if I had some of these, and I checked the ones I had, and sure enough, he had a few that I didn't. So we have Doctor Who and Warrior's Gate. So this is from Tom Baker's final season. It's actually the last story to feature Romana. So it's the one where she departs. And this also concludes the E-Space trilogy. The boys and I have been watching Doctor Who periodically, trying to do it weekly, but we can't always get together weekly. But whenever we can. And we just watched this one fairly recently, actually, the final season of Tom Baker. Many tears were shed when his era came to a close. And then here we have... Oh, and this is I think this one immediately follows Warrior's Gate. We have Doctor Who and the Keeper of Traken, which, of course, introduces Nyssa and also introduces the new Master, as played by Anthony Ainley, who would stay in the role right up to the end of the classic series, right up to literally the last story of the classic series. But great stuff. Yeah, I always really enjoyed that one. It's very, very chilling, very atmospheric. Some beautiful set design in it as well. It's really well done. Oh, wonderful. I used to have this one a long, long time ago, my original Doctor Who collection. We have Doctor Who and the Android Invasion, which is great. The menacing Stigron, which the Krawl? The Kralls? Yeah. We never saw the Kralls again. They were only ever in this one story. But yeah, I always like this one. The Doctor and Sarah Jane come across a a mysterious village, and one of them is like looks like Harry, actually, Harry Sullivan. I think it's the last appearance of Harry Sullivan, and yeah, quite a good, very typical '70s sci-fi of like evil robot duplicates of people. It's good fun. But and then next up we have another one to do with androids. This is part of the Key to Time saga. We have Doctor Who and the Androids of Tara. This one's kind of like the Prince and the Pauper, where it's like they have a robot version of the Prince swap places with him to sort of keep the real Prince safe. So it's kind of a Doctor Who take on the old Prince and the Pauper story, which was kind of fun. I'm just going to move these over a little bit. And then I think this is the last one. Yeah, last but most certainly not least, we have Doctor Who and the Mask of Mandragora. Actually written by Philip Hinchcliffe, who was the producer during Tom Baker's first few seasons. Very, very cool indeed. And yeah, we just finished watching all of the Tom Baker stories. And this is great. I mean, this is a good chunk of Tom Baker stuff here that I did not have. And definitely a very welcome addition to the Doctor Who collection. And I think that's it. There's no notes or anything, just the packing material. Yep, nope, that's it. All right, well, that is an awesome pile of books there, AndrozaniMajor. Thank you very, very much, dude. I really appreciate the additions to the Who collection. They will get their appropriate places of honor in amongst the Target collection, which is ever growing, and I couldn't be more happy. So thank you very much for helping out with that. Alrighty, well, folks, that is it from me to you for now, so I'll see you next time. Until then, big thanks to you for watching, big thanks to my Patreon sponsors, and I'll see you next time. Until then, sayonara.